The Nairobi City Thunder, they are just in preparation for their Road to BAL campaign. And at this point, they're just buying everybody because as per recording of the previous video that I made not too long ago, I talked about Eugene Adera, Tyler Okari, and Derek Ogechi joining the team. And after I finished recording that video, I saw that Coach T9 joined the Nairobi City Thunder coaching staff, and he came from the Equity Dumas. So the saying goes for the Nairobi City Thunder, if you can't beat us, join us. So that is what is going on with the Nairobi City Thunder. And with me monitoring what the Nairobi City Thunder have been doing in the past year and the moves that they have been making, it begged the question, what is their objective and what do they aim to prove? And given the fact that the Nairobi City Thunder right now are just the Kenyan Morans 2.0, I dare say they are showing us what might happen if the Kenya Morans coaching staff changed and a different system is implemented that can set up the players that play for the national team to thrive in a different situation. Because majority of the time we've seen these players congregate in the national team, the likes of Ariel Okal, Fahim Juma, Fidel, Fade. We have seen Griffin Legare, we have Ariel Ortega, you have Derek Ogechi, Tyler Okari, Eugene Adera, Kenyan Airways. You're seeing how these players play when they congregate in the national team. So when they play the national team under Coach Cliff, they give us one of the worst basketball played, and it's very embarrassing, especially when you play for a nation and you're playing for the flag and you're representing your whole country. So it's very, very embarrassing the way the coaching staff, especially Coach Cliff, the way he lines up the squad and he queues up the squad, making sure that he embarrasses the country in front of the whole world. So he has been very poor at that. He's been very poor at managing the Kenya Morans. And looking at this different situation that we have the Nairobi City Thunder. They have top-level management. They have the best management I've seen in Kenyan basketball in recent time. They have surpassed the KPA Dockers, Ulinzi Warriors, Equity Dumas coaching staff by miles. And they can even say they are years ahead. And we have seen what has happened with the Nairobi City Thunder, especially when you put good management and good coaching staff. So we have seen the Kenya Morans 2.0 assemble in the Nairobi City Thunder roster and the Nairobi City Thunder squad. So this success that the Nairobi City Thunder are bound to have, especially when it comes to the Road to BAL, you will see that the addition of the fourth spot in the Road to BAL campaign, given the expansion of the BAL, the way they have the BAL decided to add an additional spot, because in previous years, in the past 4 seasons of the BAL, we've only seen 3 slots allocated to one division of the Road to BAL, and the other side is 3 spots. So in total, there are 6 spots. So you're seeing a total of 8 spots allocated to the Road to BAL teams. And we have seen the automatic teams also, you had South Africa and Morocco get added there. So we have an additional spot that we can gun for. And this means that if the Nairobi City Thunder play their cards right, they can be able to get one of the 4 spots there. So if the Nairobi City Thunder are able to make BAL and they're able to get past all these teams that are going to be able to participate, I feel like their success will reflect poorly on Coach Cliff and the team manager, Kushla. It's going to be very embarrassing for her, because you're going to see a situation where Brad Ibbs has been able to coach that group of guys in a different system, in a different setup, and be able to get success through a different system that he runs. And it's just going to be reflecting poorly at Kushla and the KBF cabal and Coach Cliff, because Coach Cliff is a certified loser And I don't even understand how he gets coaching gigs. Kushla is a loser team manager, a team manager that is nothing more than a placeholder, somebody that cannot even assemble that squad. The cabal, the KBF cartels with their impunity are the ones that assemble a squad. They pick who they want to pick. Fahim Juma has had the best year in his career, and he didn't even play significant minutes in the first window of the FIBA Afrobasket qualifiers. So these people are being indicted right now, and you're seeing Brad Ibbs go beyond them, and what he has been able to do with this roster, and what Twente have been able to do, especially with the resources that they have and able to assemble this squad. They're going to flat out embarrass the Kenya Basketball Federation, their team managers and coaching staff, and they're going to expose the cabal. Because let's say the Nairobi City Thunder are able to qualify to be in the BAL and they get that spot. That will mean that in that squad that is going to play next year in the second window, those players that balled out have to be included there. The Kenya Moran players that were able to ball out very well for that Nairobi City Thunder team have automatically landed a spot in that squad. And another thing that I was worried about was the lack of playing time, and these players with the national team not being able to play together, especially when it comes to training, because you have seen training for the national team is very hurried, and they're not able to understand each other when the way they play. And it's something that is worrying me, because after February, it's been about 7 months since we have seen the Kenya Morans be able to even congregate and assemble and prepare for next year. And the way the FIBA Afrobasket qualifiers window is opening in November, and we have the other one opening in February next year, sometimes I don't even understand why the Kenya Morans are not even congregating and playing and try to plant seeds early. But anyway, I'll drop a video just talking about that whole situation. But this Nairobi City Thunder squad, this iteration of the Nairobi City Thunder, having Tyler, having Derek Ogechi, having Eugene Adera, Fahim, Fade, Ariel Okal being there. Ariel Okal, he has been balling out. He balled out together with Dingarang in Kinshasa. So I'm not sure how they're going to be able to congregate and play, but looking at how the national team is assembled in the Nairobi City Thunder, you will expect major changes when it comes to playing, when it comes to the national team. Because if Brad Ibbs is able to be successful in this road to BAL and win road to BAL and Ala BAL spot, he automatically should be elevated to the coach of the national team. And also the team manager, Bernard Oje should be the team manager of the national team now, because these people who represent the national team have fully outlived their usefulness, because 90% of the national team is playing for the Nairobi City Thunder currently. There's nobody that is left to play in the national team that is playing in the other teams. You can see the Lindsay Warriors. Who do they have? Eric Motoro. The man is washed. Look at Victor Bosiri. The man is washed, man. He can't do anything. The Equity Dumas are a barren wasteland. Who do they have? Nobody. Look at the Lindsay Warriors. Who do they have? Nobody. Elisha. That's it. The other guys, not national team worthy. Look at the KPA Dockers. They have no national team player on that squad. None. They are far removed from the champions for last year. And given the fact that they got swept and they have got a loser coach in Coach Cliff, they will never succeed or even achieve anything basketball. So the coaching staff that is coaching the Nairobi City Thunder should be elevated to coach the national team. And I've been thinking about this thing for quite some time now, and I just wanted to present an argument like that, because Brad Ibbs, he has been able to do some significant things. Some of the significant things that I've seen and the work that he's put in to make sure that this Nairobi City Thunder team is at where it is right now. I know as a coach, he's the one who sets up the lineup, and a lot of people look at the Nairobi Thunder success given like their organized management and the resources that they have. But it's one thing to have money and resources, but it's another thing to have professional people working. Because we've had the KPA Dockers. They are the team that has money, but because of the inability to source for good talent and good professionalism, they have not been able to get the personnel that can lead them to success, because they failed in Road to BAL. They failed in the League 16 twice, and last year it was so embarrassing that they only managed to win one game. And the only game that they won against a team that didn't even qualify to the next round. The only team that made it, that beat them, was Dynamo. And Dynamo was able to qualify for the BAL. But if you look at the other team like Ulinzi, they tried their hand in the Road to BAL. They failed. Didn't even make it. Didn't even scratch the surface. And they proved to be one of the most useless teams. Look at the top four teams: Nairobi City Thunder, KPA Dockers, Ulinzi Warriors, Equity Dumas. The Nairobi City Thunder are miles ahead. I can say they're Usain Bolt-like when it comes to Kenyan basketball. I don't think there's another team that can be able to match the Nairobi City Thunder like that. Financially, they are good. The other teams that can be able to match financially are Ulinzi Warriors, KPA, and Equity Dumas. But if you look at how many people the Thunder have been able to sign and get to that roster, do you mean to tell me that the KPA Dockers can't pull off major signings? They can't, because of the culture of the team and its pathetic nature, and having somebody like Coach Cliff coaching the team. That's the reason as to why they fail. And the Equity Dumas, they have a very toxic culture. The team management thinks that they can run the team, and that's the reason as to why they lose their star players. I don't think the Equity Dumas will be a desirable destination for anyone who wants to progress in basketball, because they are proven to be one of the most useless organizations in basketball. The only bright spot in KPA and the Equity Dumas are their women's teams. That's it. The men's teams are just a barren wasteland. They're just falling in that category of the Ulinzi Warriors. Ulinzi Warriors, they became a meme after 2022. They have never been able to get to prominence at all. They're a failure of a team. They're a failure of an organization. And I don't think there's any young talent that they can be able to get there. So, I know they are a bunch of army guys, but honestly, your basketball IQ takes you very far, which is something that they lack. And also the KPA Dockers. I mean, you're being coached by a coach that has the basketball IQ of a peanut. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. So, the Nairobi City Thunder, they're a model team. If you can't beat the Nairobi City Thunder, make sure to join them. And I've seen a lot of people complain, especially the people who back the other teams. Oh, they're taking all the stars. I mean, the players were presented with contracts, and they accepted based on how the contract was looking like and the compensation and the value they are getting. So if they're not getting the value from these other teams, why not pick a situation where you can get value, and also you can have your own Road to BAL bath? Because if you pick another team, you won't be able to do anything. It's like saying you want to sign for KPA, and you know this whole off-season they're going to do nothing. You're signing for the Equity Dumas, they're going to do nothing. Ulinzi Warriors, nothing. So the only major signings that are going to happen most of the time was going to happen to the Nairobi City Thunder, and the top players in the league were going to the Nairobi City Thunder. Case in point, you can see Eugene Adera left the Equity Dumas, went to the Nairobi City Thunder. Tela Ongwae, I'm not sure how they're able to pull it off, but they're able to convince him to help in that Road to BAL push. Also, Derek Ogechi, he was around, and they were able to convince him to join so that they can be able to take this team to BAL. And the Nairobi City Thunder making BAL is so significant to the point where they will shut up all the haters. They will shut up all the people that casted doubt on them. And they will shut up everyone who said that they can't be able to win. Because as you can see, even from the beginning, when I saw what the Nairobi City Thunder did at this beginning of the season, I was backing them all through. Because if you look at the previous videos and you can see the aggressive power grab that they had, I made a video talking about it. You can see what they did. They were able to beat every single team the season started 0-0. They went 22-0, and they swept every team. They swept the entire team. They swept the Equity Dumas. I mean, they went ahead and swept the KPA Dockers, something that I thought that if those games will have played out, at least they will have been able to get a challenge and be able to be gifted their first loss, but that didn't happen. And if you look at the additions, they are adding more players. And also remember, Kenyan Airways is coming back. So it's just going to be very, very difficult for other teams to be able to match them up. But anyway, I mean, I'm just excited because this is good for continental basketball. But if you look at local basketball, the Nairobi City Thunder are going to have one of the most one-sided league games of all time, because I don't think there's any other team that can be able to beat them. They have proved it twice, that they can beat all the teams twice, and they have proven that they're the real deal when they swept everyone in the postseason. So they have had one of the most dominant seasons, and I don't think there's any other team that can be able to match the Nairobi City Thunder right now. And given that situation, and given the fact that they have made very quality signings, I don't think they're going to struggle like that even in the road to BAL, because my biggest fear would have been them signing a bunch of foreign players that they don't know, a bunch of white guys they don't know, and they just disrupt the chemistry. But what they decided to do, play the right thing, play the right way, sign some quality players who play for the national team, and convince them to be able to integrate the players within the squad, and they'll be able to do something. But anyway, we have seen what KPA did. They went in there, got Americans, they lost the games. They got people who disrupted the team chemistry and only joined for that run. And that really set them back. But you can see what the Nairobi City Thunder did. They said they are not going to go for those white guys who come in. They're guns for hire. They go for them, and they mess up the team chemistry. So it was a very smart and genius move. And hopefully you can be able to see some different change and some basketball, because I'll just be waiting to see what the Nairobi City Thunder will be able to do when it comes to their road to BAL campaign. I'll just be waiting, and also be watching what our ladies, our KPA Dockers and Equity Hawks women's team, they will be doing. So I'll be monitoring that as well. And man, if you guys like the video, like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.